Man, Nate, man, shout out to Nate, bro.
What up, what up, what up, ladies and gents, boys and girls? You are now tuned in to a brand new video of Sportsway with Dre Day podcast. I am your host with the most, the Hood's ESPN, Crystal Street's very own, Dre Day. What's up, what's up, what's up? Once again, thank y'all for y'all continued support of the podcast. Keep it going, keep it growing, keep it flowing. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. It's right there on the bottom of the screen. Also, hit that notification bell so that way, once a video is uploaded, you will get a notification letting you know that I dropped a new video. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, tell a friend to tell a friend, all that good stuff. Taking that off. I'm taking that off, man. I'm taking that off, man. This video here, it's a wrap. Pack them up. Pack up my Spurs. They are done. They are on the wrong side. They are on the wrong side of history. Congratulations to the New York Knicks. I know it's only one more. I know they need one more win to clinch this thing, but pack it up. The Knicks will be your 2026 NBA World Champions. The New York Knicks make an historic comeback. Down 29 points. And come back to defeat the San Antonio Spurs. What was the score? Let me see. What was the score? 107 to 106. So this series is over. Okay. I'm speechless. I'm very much speechless. Speechless for two reasons. The first reason I'm speechless is because obviously my team was up 29 points and blew it. But what's so crazy is, like, I was at work watching the game, and then I started watching it on my phone as I was heading home from work. And even at work, when the Spurs got that big lead, I was not excited. I wasn't excited at all. And the reason I wasn't excited was because the Knicks have a history of doing this, especially in this postseason. Let me not say a history of doing it, but actually, yeah, they have a history of doing it. In this postseason, when they are down 10 to 14 points, they make a comeback. So even with the Spurs being up 29 points, I still wasn't excited. My guys was hitting me up like, yo, your boys got this. Your boys. No, they don't. They ain't got anything. This game ain't over until that clock hits 0. Have y'all not been paying attention to what the Knicks have done in the playoffs? Last series against Cleveland, they were down 22 points in the fourth quarter, came back and won. 4 games in this series with the Spurs. Each game, they was down 10 to 14 points and mounted a comeback and won the game. But now this one was just on a historical level. 29 points. And what's so crazy is I'm sitting there watching the game, and they brought it up too. They said the biggest comeback in the history of the NBA Finals was 2008 with the Celtics and the Lakers. I remember that. I remember that game. So me personally, I was not sold on this lead. I wasn't. And then when they came out in the third quarter and was licking up all these threes, I'm sitting there like, yo, they're going to let them back in the game because you shooting all these threes and you're not making them. Common sense would tell you, yo, I'm not making these threes. Let me drive to the basket. To me, this was similar to when the Houston Rockets played the Golden State Warriors, I want to say in the 2018 Western Conference Finals, if I'm not mistaken. I think they had took like 27 threes in a row. Houston had took like 27 threes in a row and wasn't making any of them. And that mounted Golden State to come back and win that game in Game 7. This performance by the San Antonio Spurs is equivalent to that. I get it. That first half, they was draining the threes. I'm not going to hold you. Whether it was Castle, whether it was Vassell, whether it was Wemby, they was draining threes at will. Dylan Harper, who, listen, De'Aaron Fox got to go at the end of the year. He's got to go at the end of the year. He has got to go at the end of the year. Dylan Harper, that's your future. He got to be the starter. He has to be the starting 1 or 2 guard next year for the San Antonio Spurs. De'Aaron Fox has got to go because you can make a case that he also blew this game for San Antonio because that late possession in the fourth quarter, when you could have ran out the clock, and hopes that OG foul you or another player foul you, you take it to the free throw line. But this is where lack of experience comes into play. But you got to give credit to the Knicks. You've got to give credit to the Knicks. OG Anunoby is the MVP of this series. Now, I was going to wait until the series was over and then do a whole recap. But since it's 3-1, this series is basically over. So the first 2 games in this series, I was confidently saying Cat was the MVP. But then when you factor in these next 2 games where Cat wasn't really himself in Game 3, they basically took him out the game in Game 3 because Jalen Brunson was basically on some hero ball type shit. And then this game, Cat was in foul trouble. What was it? First 3-4 minutes of the game, he gets into foul trouble, which is crazy. Just crazy. But you got to give credit to the Knicks. OG Anunoby is the MVP of this series. For him to have the performance that he had, mind you, the Knicks was down 81-52 towards the beginning of the third quarter. I want to say it was about 9 and change left, and they was down that much. And I still was not convinced that this game was over. All I kept saying was they need just one run. That's all they need. All they need is one run, and they'll get back in this game. And then lo and behold, San Antonio helped them by missing all of these threes and just kept shooting them. That's what got the Knicks back in this game. Jalen Brunson was their spark. OG was their spark from the beginning of the game. Even when they was getting blowed out, he was the spark. I think he was 7 for 9 from the 3-point line. And obviously, the putback, the I guess you could say the walk-off, the walk-off putback when Jalen Brunson missed the shot and nobody was near Anunoby. My man ran from the 3-point line just to jump up in the air and put it back in. So, yeah, OG Anunoby is the MVP, definitely. But the Spurs, obviously, listen, Spurs fan, I will admit that. I know in the comments y'all gonna get at me, but it is what it is. They choked this away. There's no other way around it. For you to have a 29-point lead and you give it away. See, it's one thing for you to lose the lead, but you still are able to hold the game and win. It's a whole nother thing for you to have that lead and you choke it away and you lose. And then remember, this is a young team. This is an inexperienced team. And in these playoffs, especially in this series, their lack of experience showed. That possession with De'Aaron Fox, when he ran full court for the basket, he was not supposed to try to lay that up. What he was supposed to do was hold on to the ball, and I think it was OG that was the closest person to him. You're supposed to hold on to that ball in hopes that you'll get fouled and take it to the free throw line. But what do? You try to lay it up. You get blocked. And shout out to Jose Alvarado. I know he don't get that much minutes, but even in that small time, he made an impact. Whether it was on offense or defense, because on defense, you know he gonna give it his all. But and then listen, I love my boy Wemby, but he choked missing them 2 free throws. It is what it is. You listen. We got to keep it a buck. You choked it away. For you to be a good free throw shooter, and in that situation, you choke and you miss those 2 free throws. Yeah. So bad coaching blew this game. Relying on them damn threes when you wasn't making them and you kept shooting them blew this game. Wemby missing those 2 key free throws in the fourth quarter in crunch time, and De'Aaron Fox. Those were the reasons why the Spurs lost this game, and now they're on the verge of losing this series. Again, this is the largest comeback in the history of the NBA Finals. They were down by 27 at halftime. And again, like I said, I still wasn't convinced. OG is the MVP. I know they're going to try their hardest to try to give it to Jalen Brunson. And again, he played well. But OG Anunoby has been the consistent player this whole series for the Knicks. Like I said earlier, the first two games, for me, Cat was the MVP. But now, Knicks 3-1 lead, OG is the MVP. He's the MVP. But I will say this, though. And I said this in my video. What was it? When I did my finals prediction. Even though I am a Spurs fan, I am from New York. I am from Brooklyn. I am from East New York. Okay, born and raised. With the Knicks on the verge of winning this series, I will be happy for the Knicks. I will be happy for their fans, primarily their OG fans, the old timers. Because, again, they were teenagers the last time the Knicks won a championship, right? So I'm more excited for them than I am the young Knicks fans. Hell, like, listen, I'm 40 years old. A bunch of my bros I grew up with are Knicks fans. They remember the 94 finals. Obviously, we was young. We was, elementary, junior high, but you still remember it. Obviously, they remember the 99 finals. That's when they lost to us. And then all of those years afterwards, trash. Whether it was the Jeremy Lin era, the Melo era, the Marbury era, whether it was Isaiah Thomas as the coach, Larry Brown as the coach, Mike Woodson as the coach, when Phil Jackson took over as the president, it was so much growing pains for the Knicks. And then now we fast forward to now, where they are 1 win away from winning the NBA Finals. And in my honest opinion, this series is over. I know a lot of people were sitting me up like, yo, your boys ain't done. They're done. You can pack them up. They're done. They're not coming back in this series. They're not. Because, and I said this to a young lady I was on the train with coming home. You know, she was still trying to be optimistic about the series. I told her the series is over. She was like, what makes you say that? I said, I'm going to tell you why. When the Knicks have a 3-game to whatever lead, and each series they was in, how did they beat their opponent? They beat shit down their leg. They did it to Atlanta. They won by what, 40 plus? They played Philly, beat them by almost 40, if not 40. They played Cleveland, swept them, just like they did Philly. Game 4, won by almost 40. San Antonio, again, I'm a realist, okay? I'm a realist, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. But this series is over. This series is over. They can take this loss. They can cry themselves to sleep. They can cry in the shower. They can do all those things. It'll make them stronger for next year. But this series is over. This series is a wrap. You can pack this thing up. It's over. The New York Knicks will be your 2026 NBA world champions. This is not Golden State and Cleveland, where a team was down 3-1 and came back and won. We're not getting that in this series. We're not getting that in this series. Because she, the young lady I was speaking to on the train, she was saying the same thing. I said, this is not Cleveland and Golden State. Like this is heartbreak. Like this is some. What comparison can I give? This is the Seahawks against the Patriots in the Super Bowl, and you have the ball at the 1-yard line. All you got to do is hand it off to Marshawn Lynch. What do? Throw the ball at the 1-yard line, and it costs you a Super Bowl. And the Seattle Seahawks were never the same after that, prior to last year winning the Super Bowl. But look how long it took them. This right here can damage the Spurs mentally for the rest of this series. And honestly, as a Spurs fan, that's what I think is going to happen. I think this series is over in 5 games. I think it's over in 5. I don't think the Spurs can bounce back from this. For one, they're young and they're inexperienced, and they have proven that in these playoffs. And I'm supposed to believe that they're going to go out there in game 5 and muster everything up to push a game 6. No, I don't see that happening. I think this series is over in 5 games. But again, like I said, I'm from the town, so I'm not going to cry myself to sleep. I'm not. I'm disappointed in them blowing this lead, because I'm almost certain if Coach Pop was on that sideline, that's not happening. I'm almost certain that's not happening. And well wishes to the GOAT, Coach Pop, because he's still recovering from that stroke from last year. But if he was on that sideline, this does not happen. This is where lack of coaching, this is where the lack of experience on the big stage happens. And that's what happened with the Spurs in this series. But again, you cannot take nothing away from the New York Knicks. That's why in the thumbnail I have comeback fellas, because that's what they've been in these playoffs, primarily in these finals. All 4 games, they were down double digits and came back and won. So you got to salute the Knicks. You have got to salute the Knicks. That's about it, man. Like, I really don't want to be on this that much longer. I'm hungry. I want to have a bowl of cereal while I watch my soaps, but salute to the Knicks. They are 1 win away from winning their first NBA title since 1973. 53 years. Wow. That is insane. And I'm 40. So salute to the Knicks. I'll say it. Congrats to the Knicks, because they're going to win this series. It's just a matter of if they're going to do it in 5 games, which I think they will. I think they close this out in 5. I think they understand the urgency of this. If they was able to muster up the comeback 29, I'm almost certain they understand the assignment and to close this out. You don't want to you don't want to play with a wounded dog. You take that dog out. You put him down. And I think game 5, which is Saturday, I think they do that. But and again, this is a Spurs fan saying this, so it is what it is. But again, I'm from the town, so I'm happy for the Knicks. I'm happy for their fans. Long time coming. But yeah, it's time to get up off this. Y'all hit me in the comments and tell me what y'all think. Once again, thank y'all for y'all continued support of the podcast. Keep it going, keep it growing, keep it flowing. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. It's right there on the bottom of the screen. Also, hit that notification bell so that way, once a video is uploaded, you will get a notification letting you know I dropped a new video. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, tell a friend, all that good stuff. In closing, y'all know how this goes. This has been another video of Sports Way with Dre Day podcast. Catch y'all on the flip side. God bless. Peace and love. Your boy is out of here.